Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Welcome, my pretties. This year has gone so fast. It's December already. It's dark, it's cold, at least in my part of the world. I thought it would be fun to chase away the winter chills with some nostalgic wintry Winx content in this December Winxology Special. It's a little Christmas heavy. I'm sorry if you don't celebrate and are dreading the avalanche heading your way this month. But there is some non-denominational December cheer in there as well. So I hope you have a warm drink and you've gotten cozy under some blankets. Let's get into it. So, I think it would be fun to start off with some December-January covers of the Winx magazine. January because often the January issue is released in December. I've picked a few that I think are interesting to talk about, and it's also a way for me to give my thoughts on the art styles across the years. Let's start off with a classic. You've seen this one, December 2005. One thing that always bothered me when I was a child about the Winx magazine is that unlike the Pixie mag, whilst other content in the magazine would be seasonal, the comics would never be on topic, with the exception of Halloween's. Which I guess makes sense in universe, but this issue is about the Sharpstone, about as far as you can get from cozy winter vibes and Christmas spirit. Unless you think the spirit of Christmas is capitalism, I suppose. This cover art often gets reposted by the official accounts around this time of the year, so it's pretty well known. And I think so is January 2006, which elsewhere I believe was used to welcome 2007, and even summer in some international editions. Next, I want to talk about January 2011, and I love this one. Ballet is the perfect theme for this time of the year in my opinion. It's kind of interesting that Winx as an aggressively girly brand never really took advantage of ballet. Yes, we had those dance fits from season 3 and also from season 5. I suppose if Althea has compulsory ballet and rhythmic gymnastics classes, it may explain their transformation choreo. But beyond that, Winx never leaned into ballet like other girly contemporaries, and in a way I like that. I like that they kept it edgier with figure skating and such. However, I like ballet and I like this cover. I love the sugary, powdery colours. Is the comic about ballet? No, it's about the Winx helping Roxy give a boy a love potion. Next, we're well into the American era with January 2015, and I really like this one. It's a Musa cover, great to see. I like the very Couture art style. It came out when I was a teenager and sort of considered myself above Winx. What they were doing at the time was not appealing to me. However, I remember really liking Fairy Couture and kind of wanting the t-shirts and such. I know it's sometimes hard for people in the Anglophone side of things to wrap their head around this, but the amount of merch and fashion and even home goods that came out of Winx was insane. And I think that Fairy Couture was quite smart as a business decision, in keeping older fans buying without embarrassing them. Everything that came out of it is so aggressively early 2010s as well, whether it was fashion or, bed sheets. That slightly edgy, minimalistic post-recession look. So yeah, Fairy Couture was kind of perfect for what it was trying to be, and it's interesting to me that people don't really remember it beyond the art style being used for World of Winx. At any rate, this cover, I like the colours, I like the sort of pencil effect, I like the jacket situation. It's a good one. Also in Fairy Couture, we have December 2018. And I don't know, I like this one too. I like blue as a December colour, I like the cool tones. Flora looks more like herself than usual in this style. And yes, the bar really is that though, welcome to hell. And the girlies are wearing corset tops. My god, ahead of their time. Finally, let's talk about January 2021. It's hard to get on board with the Season 8 art style, but you know what I like? Season 8 covers. There are some really cute ones, I really like the colour schemes, and they just remind me of those early 2000s princess books and things I used to read. There is a nostalgic quality to them, and if this wasn't Winx, I would really like it. Do you know what I mean? I've also noticed that Musa tends to get featured on Season 8 covers a lot more. In terms of this cover, whilst winter sports doesn't immediately telegraph December to me, I like it. I like pink and purple as December colours, and it's nice that they let Flora out of the cave so she can get some vitamin D. This time of year is one where, as a child, I got a lot of home time in my part of the world, and I always spent my holidays enjoying my comics and my magazines. So covers and such from this time of the year are extra nostalgic for me. December issues of children's magazines often gifted stickers to decorate your New Year cards, or paper ornaments for your tree. If that's equally nostalgic for you and you kind of want to get into that spirit, you can head over to the Winx website where they have some templates. December, cold, snow, ice shows. Let's talk about Winx on Ice. On Ice is actually a relatively large part of the Winx brand that never gets discussed. Winx on Ice was a show that toured Italy, France, Portugal, Russia, and Switzerland, and it actually had some pretty big names featured. The Italian version of the show featured Carolina Kostner, a European and world champion and Olympic medalist. For her, the character of Carolina was created, a young Earth girl who desperately wants to find her place in the world and is tempted to the dark side in the process. The villains in this version were the Trix and Valtor. There is, however, a version of the show from Russia where the villains are the Trix and the Wizards of the Black Circle. In France, a novelization of the show was released as part of the Winx Bibliothèque Rose series. There was also a sticker album for the show, with collectible sticker packs, and the soundtrack was released as a CD. And most notably, there were a whole bunch of dolls. Now, under Witty Toys, there were the Fairy Ice Skating Championship dolls of Bloom, Flora, Stella, and Roxy. And whilst they were not branded as such, it's kind of obvious that they are meant to be promoting that part of the franchise. I suspect that only Giochi received the license for Winx on Ice specifically, because the only branded dolls are from Giochi Preziosi. And they are some of the most gorgeous in my opinion of all Winx dolls. Even Carolina had her own doll, and I don't know how many figure skaters can say that they had fashion dolls made of them. It's quite hard to research Giochi dolls because they didn't have the same reach and are less well recorded in fandom spaces than some of the other brands, but they are some of my favourites. Another part of the Winx on Ice brand was, naturally, Dreaming in My Way, as part of the Winx Club in Concert DVD and album from 2009. It is now on the official Winx accounts as Winx Winter Olympics. Interestingly, the main character of the MV is Aisha, and it's centered around her and Naboo's rivalry in pair skating against Icy and Valtor. It bears a lot of resemblance to comics issue 56, Magix on Ice, with the heads of the school judging and the Winx and the Trix engaging in competitive rivalry as opposed to full enmity like in the show. It's also just funny to see Valtor in this context. The Winx on Ice outfits are quite distinctive and have often been reused in different contexts, including on the cover of issue 144 of the magazines where they've been repurposed as rhythmic gymnastics outfits. In the comic featured in this issue, the Winx do ballet, but with ribbons. Realistically, Magix on Ice exists to promote the on ice part of the brand, but it has some lore and history of its own, and it deserves its own segment. Magix has elected a young, ambitious new mayor, Mayor Diamond, and he has plans for the city. In order to increase tourism and boost the economy, he starts off his term by artificially altering the weather conditions with the help of the wizard Turkus. It's snowy, it's icy, people have to buy winter clothes, and remember, it's never winter in Magix. The lake freezes over, and the students of all three schools are invited to join a sports tournament on ice. Our girlies are super excited for the figure skating competitions, especially Stella and Flora. Stella is determined that she and Brandon will win the pairs event. But to her dismay, Flora and Helia are really good. They're both roller skaters, and supposedly their skills translate well onto the ice. Meanwhile, the Tricks are intrigued by the power of this wizard Turkus, who is successfully holding the city of Magix in winter. They track down the wizard to a greenhouse outside the city, but Turkus has no time for schoolgirls and dismisses them, leaving Icy seething. The day of the competition arrives, and with it, a very special guest. Mayor Diamond's son, the world figure skating champion Igor Diamond. He is here to help judge the competition. Timmy's hockey team comes second, but none of the Winx pairs teams manage to place. But the results of the individual competition are in, and the final is going to be between Stella and Flora. May the best fairy win. To Stella's despair, Flora comes in first place. Igor has decided that he wants to skate with the winner, prompting Helia to throw a jealous fit. Dumping Flora. Whilst Flora is enjoying her moment in the spotlight with a worthier man, suddenly the Tricks conjure up an icy storm. The spell holding Magix in winter destabilizes. The Winx and the heads of the school combine their magic to bring the weather back under control. The mayor and Turkus thank the Winx and apologize for the way things have turned out. But the heads are actually impressed. Magix on Ice was a success after all. Perhaps a little change of weather isn't such a bad thing. Anyway, Little Me really shipped Flora with Igor, especially because Helia acts like such a dog in this issue. Yeah, to be honest, I'm not really into the comics version of Helia. If you're interested in the alternative canon of the comics, I do have a video on the topic and do intend to make more at some point. In that video, I also go into detail as to why the Tricks are just allowed to stay as students and hang about Magix in the comics. One interesting thing about this issue is that though it was originally from the Enchantix era, it was edited and re-released as a Season 4 adjacent comic, so in some panels we get a weird fusion of Enchantix and Believix. Magix on Ice is one of the better known stories in the Anglophone fandom because it was featured in the Wiz collection. A Magix Christmas is episode 10 of Season 5, and it's kind of a strange one. Bloom is really excited to return home for Christmas and celebrate the occasion with her family and the neighborhood children, who are really looking forward to spending time with her. Unbeknownst to her and the Winx, the Tricks are spying on them and are really concerned about this new power that she is supposedly on the verge of acquiring, the magic of Christmas. So, to prevent Bloom from leaving so that they can steal the magic of Christmas from her, they summon a pack of ice dragons who breathe a wall of ice around Althea. Bloom is devastated. The Winx attempt to cheer her up by trying to do Christmas at Althea in their own misguided but sincere way. The Tricks reveal themselves and are defeated naturally, and Faragonda opens a gateway so that Bloom's family and the neighborhood children can join them at Althea. And so, it's a merry Winxmas after all. This episode reminds me of the comics in terms of scope, and in terms of how relatively petty what the Tricks are doing is. It reminds me of the rivalry the Tricks and the Winx have in the earlier comics, where the Tricks just continue to be students equal to Winx, but are constantly after magic they shouldn't pursue. The other thing I do like about the episode is that one spooky moment of Bloom walking alone in the dark Althea corridors and hearing disembodied laughter. Christmas is traditionally a time for ghost stories. It's the darkest time of the year, it's cold. I think it would have been really on brand for Winx to have done a spooky Christmas special. So, to be honest, it's a bit sad that this is the Christmas episode we got from the Winx Club. Compared to how iconic, seasonal and atmospheric Halloween's is, a Magix Christmas is not giving me the vibes I want, spooky or not. But it does have a cool couple of shots, I will give it that. I really like Althea lit up for Christmas like this. The other thing this episode gives us is a Winx Christmas song, È già Natale, It's Already Christmas. Let's look at some obscure Winx outfits. Wintery Winx outfits abound in the Winx franchise, but as I've said previously in the series, my favourite Winx outfits are always merch exclusives, or ones that had limited presence on the show but made it elsewhere in the merch and the comics. The more specific they are, the more nostalgia they unlock. I want to start with this lot. And yes, there's actually no official Aisha outfit to go with this series, I'm pretty sure, because they are just that old. Bloom's outfit actually has a variation, as Bloom outfits tend to do, with a white sweater and a hat. In fact, I think all of the girls have a hat variation. They're just really hard to track down, but look at me, I found you Musas. These outfits are featured on the cover of Christmas Party by Pam Pollack, part of the 22-book series written for Scholastic. Can anyone let us know what happens in this book? I'm curious how it fits with the canon, if at all. The Scholastic books are interesting to me because before Nickelodeon was in the picture, that was the only way my UK-based friends knew the Winx at all. Next up, we have the ski outfits. And I was looking at these and I was thinking, these are obviously from season 2, right? When they go on that ski holiday. And they're not. And so I was thinking, well, where are they from? And then I looked at Flora's outfit and I was like, of course. They're the skating training outfits from Magix on Ice. This Flora outfit is one of my favorites, partly because I really like this particular story, but it is also just very cute. I think my second favorite in this series is Tekna's. I really love this color scheme for Tekna. It reminds me of a denim outfit. And third place goes to Stella, but actually only the comics version. This one looks so cozy and Christmassy. These outfits make a comeback in issue 70, which, first of all, let me tell you, it's a wild ride. But this issue also offers a new set of ski outfits, and not only the Winx, but Roxy and the Trix get some too. Over the years, we've gotten a few ski outfits from the Winx Club, whether it is Season 2, World of Winx, or Season 6. The clips of Season 6 skiing were used to promote the Winx Winter Tour in 2016, where you could ski with the Winx across various resorts in Italy. Now take a look at this. These are winter variations of the Love and Pet outfits, right? I have no idea where these are from and couldn't track them down. The only wintry content of the fairy pets I remember is the sledding game with those trees. Don't think they're fan art. My best guess is that they're from a book. Can anyone shed light on what's going on here, please? Finally, I'm going to throw in this Bloom outfit. Something about it just makes me think New Year, and I don't know where that's coming from. I don't think it's just the green. Let me know about your favourite wintry Winx fits. Since discovering digital scans of the Pixie magazine, I have fallen in love with it so much that it's kind of above the Winx magazine for me now. As we previously discussed in this series, Pixie Mag precedes the Pop Pixie brand. Around the late noughties, Pixie Mag came out as companion material to the Winx brand, targeting a younger demographic than the main magazine. Each issue had multiple comics, arts and crafts, stories and fact sheets, all tailored to suit the younger audience. For our Halloween special, we discussed the Pixie Halloween issue, so it's only fair that for December we discuss a Christmas issue. This issue is the Russian language edition from December 2009, though as we previously discussed, the original copy in Italian may have been on a different publishing cycle, in fact it likely was. In this issue, the Pixies are super excited and invite you to spend New Year with them. The girlies present a variety of seasonal crafts, gifting and cooking ideas. As usual, there's a calendar for the next month. The mini comics are all appropriately seasonal. Pixie Tales, this issue, is about the Pixie village celebrating Christmas, and the town clown Flock makes a return. There is also quite a grim fairy tale about a young girl who gets kicked out by her evil stepmother and her bewitched father and meets Father Frost in the snowy woods. But by far, the main event of this magazine is an unusually long comic about Santa's little helpers. It's nearly Christmas at Pixie Village, yet no one is in the holiday mood. A sleepy cloak has settled over the neighborhood, and only one pixie is acting like herself. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Flora is helping Bloom with her Christmas shopping, whilst a dozy Loquette and Chatter keep up a constant strain of complaints, when suddenly, they bump into a young girl. To their bewilderment, the girl ignores them completely. How could this be? It slowly, horrifyingly dawns on Chatter and Loquette that children can't see them anymore. Children have stopped believing in magic, and it all started when they stopped believing in Santa Claus. Back in Pixie Village, the pair report their findings to Ninfea. So this must be why the Pixies have been all out of sorts. Without children to believe in them, they lose their energy source. Well, something needs to be done, and done fast. The Pixies race off to find Santa and explain their woes. Santa needs to go right now and start spreading the magic of Christmas so children can start believing in wonders again. But Santa is very busy at the moment supervising the workshops. He really cannot afford to go to Earth before Christmas Eve. Well, no matter, the Pixies will take charge of quality control in the workshops, and a little magic doesn't go amiss either. Meanwhile, Santa, Loquette and Amore head down to Earth to visit children and spread Christmas cheer so children can believe in magic again by Christmas time. One by one, the children start seeing the Pixies again. Thanks to Santa's help, Christmas at Pixie Village has been saved. This merits a very special thank you card. The end. In my first Winxology video, we talked a little bit about Winx on Tour and the Tirza fandom. Winx on Tour is the Dutch musical adaptation of the Winx Club from 2007, starring Tirza Saucer, Martien Howard, Sherida Jonkart Elzinga, Joyce van Berkel, Amber van Hardeveld, and Irene Horst. I first discovered Winx on Tour when I was just growing out of cartoons, and I completely fixated on Tirza Saucer. And I know I'm not the only one because Tirza really had her moment in the fandom, especially on the French-speaking side for some reason. I remember scrolling through endless pics of her on Skyrock forums. I'm Sorry Mary, Francesca, Melissa, Abby, Georgia. Tirza is the definitive Bloom. There must have been some moment when Tirza, Sherida and Martien were spending a lot of time together because they were involved in a lot of projects as one. I remember a video of them together singing We Love Orange, a Dutch football chant, I think in anticipation of the Football World Cup in 2008. Unfortunately, that can't be found anymore. All I could find was from other people's fan compilations of them. Of course, as mentioned in the previous video, they were on the Eurovision stage together as part of Itzilia Romley's performance, but I hadn't quite figured out the zoom function before, so here it is again with more impact. That's Bloom, that's Stella, and that's Layla. And I know you're thinking, well okay, but what does this have to do with winter? Well, the three also participated in the charity project The World Comes Together in a Song in 2007, where they sung Give Me Christmas by Renee and Martin Gizyameter. The goal of the project was that people sung their own versions of the song and uploaded it to YouTube, but I think they were the original singers as their performance is uploaded on the composer's channel. I could have sworn this is just one of those Christmas songs you hear every year, but it's not. This is an original song, and it was given to us partly by our Winx girlies. So I say it enters the canons of Winxology. No, but seriously, all three of these girls are still active on social media. Martien is a presenter, Sherida is a podcaster and life coach, and Tirza is doing a little bit of everything still, and she is still involved with the fandom. So I think it'd be really cool if a channel with bigger pull reached out to them and got them on an Instagram live or something to ask about their experiences on Winx on Tour. Well, that's all we have time for today, but we have by no means exhausted Winxy winter content. Perhaps come the new year, we'll do even more seasonal content, this time with less Winxmas, obviously. I also have non-seasonal Winxology scripts ready to go, which you can also look forward to, if you trust me. And I am excited to expand my content even more in the coming year. I hope that was cozy and nostalgic for you and you had your fill of Winx. I know it's early in the month, but I just want to wish everyone a Merry Winxmas, in case you don't celebrate the other one, and a magical new year. And I am excited to see you next time. Stay cozy, stay warm, bye!